So what's up people, and welcome to the Mission 84 discussion of Spy Family. So Mission 84 came out about a week ago, and as always I will leave a link to this mission that's currently being shown on the publisher's official website, Manga Plus, for free to the North American audience. So if you're interested, we'll go take a look at it before they pull this mission back. Okay, so with the release of Mission 84, we're really starting to see that this arc is the most spy-centric story out of the series so far. And with Mission 84, we really get to see just how capable an agent Winston Wheeler is. And to be honest, that makes me really happy, because up till now we haven't seen much of a challenge to Agent Twilight. He is such a capable agent that nobody has really come up to challenge his skills until now. And Winston Wheeler is really giving him a run for his money, and this really puts the story in a much more interesting perspective in my opinion. Now if you recall, in Mission 83, Agent Nightfall was chasing Winston and she was able to corner him in an alleyway. And Mission 84 starts from that, and we see that Fiona has pointed a gun at Winston and is telling him to stand down. Now, along with Fiona are other wise agents, and Fiona orders them to not only apprehend Winston, but also to search him for the secret information. And during that search, there's some interesting dialogue that shows that Winston, to some extent, feels like he's still in control of the situation, but eventually his information does get revealed. Now, regardless of whether Wise was able to get a hold of his information, Fiona is smart enough to understand that doesn't mean the information is secure now. For all we know, Winston has another set, or potentially his memory is strong enough that he can actually recite off all the information that he took from the Wise organization. And so this doesn't particularly make them any safer. And so Fiona cautions the agents to make sure that they apprehend him and take him down securely. And it's at this point that we see a very interesting move by Winston Wheeler. It almost looks like something Black Widow would do in the Avengers. And despite the fact that he is in handcuffs, he is able to take control of the situation and puts the Wise agent that was searching him in a choke lock and threatens Fiona that he will kill this agent if Fiona doesn't stand down. Now Fiona, of course, being the hardcore agent, says, well, to be honest, all of the agents have taken responsibility and understood that their life may be in danger, and so with that, she won't be able to stand down. And because of that, Winston takes another approach, which is when Fiona tries to shoot him, he throws the other agent at her, which of course causes her to not be able to aim properly, and this gives him the opportunity to jump off the nearby ledge and get away. And we see just how good Winston is, because when Fiona tries to chase him and shoot at him, he throws that knife that the agent had at her and prevents her from shooting him. And with that, he is able to get into the sewer works and get away. And so Fiona immediately starts going after him. And during this chase, she realizes just how good an agent Winston is. Probably this is the first time she's ever encountered him. And she realizes that Winston most likely is a stronger agent than even her. And so although she's going chasing after him, this is the first time that I kind of feel that I've seen Fiona with less confidence than she typically has, and she's hoping that she will eventually team up with Twilight so that they can successfully take him down. Now in the meantime, of course, Twilight is still in the sewers dressed up as Yuri, and he's trying to figure out how to get away. But during this situation, he hears some footsteps coming down the sewer passage, and from the sound of it, it sounds like this person is trying to get away. And so he immediately takes cover, and he's about to try to figure out who that person is when he is attacked from behind by Winston. Now, this is Twilight still in Yuri's disguise. So realizing that this was Winston who attacked him, he immediately starts pretending to be Yuri and reminds him of how they were together just a while ago. And by producing some probably falsified documentation for his identity, he's trying to convince Winston that he is actually Yuri. Now, during this time, we also find out that through Twilight's thoughts, he is realizing that he is in a lot worse shape than Winston. He has been shot. He is extremely exhausted, so if he went on a one-on-one battle with Winston, he will most likely lose, and the only way he may be able to take Winston down is to take him by surprise. But right at that point, Winston immediately kicks Twilight in the gut, which indicates that he always knew that this was Twilight. And what we find out is that Winston also heard Twilight the way Twilight heard Winston running down the sewer works. And from the way it sounded, whoever was running down the sewers sounded like they were also trying to get away, which wouldn't sound like Yuri. It would more sound like Twilight. So when he came up and saw that it was Yuri, he guessed that this was Twilight in disguise because Yuri would never make that sort of footsteps. So this guy is pretty darn good. From the sound of the footsteps, he could immediately tell when some person is getting away, some person is on the chase, or some person is sneaking around. And with that, he was able to determine that this was Twilight. Now, what we also find out is that although Winston was a mole, and he had worked with Twilight in the West, he has never seen Twilight's true identity. So now he gets the opportunity to unmask the great Twilight. And it is at this time that we finally see Fiona catch up to Winston. And right at that moment, she notices that he has taken Twilight down. And he's about to unmask who is most likely the most important person in her life. Yeah, the chapter ends with this image of Fiona. And of course, with this image, you realize, yeah, you start worrying about Winston. This is the first time I actually worry about Winston's safety. Because if there's any power greater than the power of friendship or Nakama power, it's the power of yandere and their assumed love, right? So I don't know what's going to happen to Fiona. She almost looks like she's about to do a level 9000 scream. But whatever the case, it's probably going to be pretty action-packed in the next chapter of Mission 85. And when that comes out, I'll bring out another video. But this is the Mission 84 discussion of Spy Family. I enjoyed it a lot because this is now really getting to be a spy type story. And it was one of those things that I felt was missing for a really long time in this series. I do enjoy the antics of Anya, but I do want to see Operation Strix move ahead and to see Twilight and Yor in action. Now, we saw Yor during the ocean cruise, so this is a chance where we really get to see Twilight against a really strong adversary. And it will be interesting to see how this goes along. And until then, happy manga reading, and as always, Jaya, nice day everyone.